I had to throw up on my co-star's face, Dylan Sprouse.
Casual.
And I think something got lost in translation because they said, what do you want to throw up? And I was like, oh, just like ramen noodles is fine. But they didn't give me ramen with like ramen broth. It was ramen with pineapple juice. So if you can imagine those flavors like coming together, it really was like real vomit.
Yeah, ew.
It was disgusting.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, this is very exciting. Hello, beautiful human. I'm Zach. That is Dan. And we welcome to the studio the star of the brand new movie, Mary, Kill, Virginia Gardner.
Hey, thanks. Happy to be here.
Congrats on FMK.
Thank you very much.
Congrats.
Thanks.
I mean, okay. Obviously, this is a thriller, correct?
Yes.
I mean, I watched the movie. Dan has watched the movie.
It's like a rom-com thriller mixture.
Yeah, it is.
And it does bring to life a very real threat.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, you don't know who you're swiping with on the internet.
No. And as someone I online dated for many, many years, met my husband on an app.
I was wondering.
Yes, that was a very real fear of mine for a long time, was getting murdered from someone on one of those apps.
I mean, it's like one of two things. Like, you're either thinking, I'm either going to hang out with this person and they're not going to be the person I have seen online, or it is going to be some sort of threat to my safety.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's very real.
Yeah. So it was kind of fun. It was fun to make a movie that was exploring that topic, especially for women. Like, I think we're always so nervous dating at the best of times, let alone somebody that you kind of meet like unvetted on the internet. So, and with the true crime podcast fascination, I'm a huge fan of those. Like, it's just kind of exploring some relevant topics.
First thoughts when you read the script, what were they?
So fun, really funny, really fun, felt like a fresh take. And I like the genre bending stuff. I like that it has some comedy. I like that it has some thriller and some murder mystery. I really like these things when we can sort of like mishmash genres.
How much of yourself ends up making its way into Kelly?
Kelly was a funny one because Kelly is like very uptight about the sanctity of marriage and protecting that at all costs. And I can't say that I'm quite as uptight as Kelly, but I always feel like
let's unpack that.
But I always feel like it's fun with any character putting a lot of yourself into it. It always just inevitably ends up happening.
Do you end up finding this character like along the way, or do you feel like you know her and are her from the very first day on set?
I think you find it along the way. I always think the more you're on set with the character and in the wardrobe and interacting with other characters, the more you slowly find it. And sometimes on like the last day of shooting, you're like, shit, like that was her. I finally figured it out. But it kind of depends on the character each time.
Do you remember the moment you found her, Kelly?
Oh, I can't. It's such a spoiler-heavy movie that I don't think
know.
I can say.
It's so hard to like ask questions because you just want to bring certain parts up.
I know, and you can't. I know.
But by the way, you really should watch it. It's a great movie. Link below. Also, Kelsey will leave her letterbox review as well, obviously.
You said in an interview a while ago that you make playlists for characters.
Yes.
Did you make one for Kelly?
Absolutely.
What music was on it?
Batshit crazy. It really like ran the gambit for Kelly of some like old school, very conservative, and then some wild, fun, and crazy stuff too. But that's like one of my favorite parts in how I find characters is often through music. I'm heavily influenced by music always.
So, okay, can you explain to me that process of correlating playlists to like, is it just, it's obviously off the script, right? But like, what other elements are kind of coming into the curation process?
It's kind of like sometimes I'll listen to a scene and I'll be like, what would this character listen to in that scene? Or what music would get me into the headspace for this scene? So I can either do it in a scene specific way, or when I'm building the character, like what does she listen to when she's vulnerable and alone? What does she listen to when she's on the treadmill? And just kind of finding what their vibe is.
There was one scene we were all talking about before you got here, and it was the scene where you throw up outside of the bar.
Oh, yes.
What can you break that down? What goes into fake throw up? How many times are you running that? Like, how does that even happen?
But also, like, what's in the throw up?
Yeah.
Okay, great questions. And I've had to throw up, I think, in like the last 3 movies that I've done, and I'm leaving for a movie this weekend where I'm also puking. So I'm like, what is this like thread of me?
We have so much to unpack.
I know.
You have thoughts
Why
on
am I always
marriage,
puking
and you're
everywhere?
vomiting constantly on screen.
I'll tell you the worst puke that I ever had to do was I was filming a movie called Beautiful Disaster in Bulgaria, and I had to throw up on my co-star's face, Dylan Sprouse.
Casual.
And I think something got lost in translation because they said, what do you want to throw up? And I was like, oh, just like ramen noodles is fine. I don't know what happened. They gave me...
How'd you land on ramen noodles?
Because it was meant to be noodles that like landed on his face. So I was just like, I don't know, give me some ramen. It'll be
ramen,
fine.
Angel hair.
Yeah.
We have, you can do some tagliatelle. You have a lot of options.
That's so true. I don't know why I landed on ramen, but I landed on ramen. But they didn't give me ramen with like ramen broth. It was ramen with pineapple juice. So if you can imagine those flavors like coming together, it really was like real vomit.
Yeah, ew.
It's disgusting.
So essentially the strategy is to evoke
actual vomit.
Yeah.
I think in Bulgaria, that's how they do it. They really wanted me to vomit.
Different strategy.
Yeah, different country, different way of
Technique.
doing it. But so they gave me that. And yeah, so I had to throw that up on Dylan's face. And something about like the act of having to like fake heave plus something that resembled the taste so closely of real vomit was a wild ride for everybody. But for this movie, we did oatmeal. It was like oatmeal and a little bit of milk, and it was like tasty. Like,
Oh, you just making breakfast in your mouth.
exactly. It was like yummy vomit this
A little
time.
cinnamon, little blueberries.
Exactly. Yeah, we all learned our lesson from Bulgaria. But it was,
And by all, you mean you.
I mean, but it was funny. You know, the Lionsgate PR people that were there on set that day knew that I had thrown up on Dylan's face in 2 movies in a row. I had thrown up on Dylan's face specifically. Again, something else to unpack. And
What? Are you sick? Like, is there a common thread to the cause of
the
throw
common
up?
thread is like he's tried to kiss me and then I throw up on him each time he tries to kiss me.
By the way, that
in
happened to
these
me
movies.
once.
What?
Someone threw up on you?
No, yeah, they were, everyone's a little tipsy, you know. That did happen, yeah.
And you tried to kiss a girl?
No, yeah, it was a guy, but yes.
And he threw up on you?
Yeah, they vomited. Yeah.
No shit.
100%.
Oh,
100%.
what did you do? Did you then throw up?
To be honest, no.
Okay.
And like a part of me doesn't remember, but like a part of me also wants to say like kept making out, but also can't remember fully. So like probably not that. I think we honestly just went home. I think I was like really just grossed out by it.
Just killed the whole vibe.
Yeah, because I think the smell was horrendous, and I do remember exactly where I was, and the street gives me the flashbacks to it. Yeah, very weird.
Well, I
also
hope you were
vomited-
drunk enough to make it okay.
Yeah, yes, I was numb enough to
Yeah.
move on and to never ever have an interaction of that sort ever again.
That's so funny.
I also vomited at the American Girl doll store.
What?
It was my sister's birthday. That's a whole other story.
Were you drunk there, or was this just like really drunk at the American Girl doll
The
store?
year was like 2005, I think. And it was just a different atmosphere. 2005, 2006.
Yeah, anything went back then.
I ate too many of the mini cinnamon rolls.
There you go.
yeah.
Could happen to anyone.
It really could. And that poor doll, poor Samantha. Rip, dude. Anyway, your vomit.
So my vomit.
Oatmeal?
So Lionsgate came to set that day to do some BTS, and they pulled a prank on me where they printed out a photo of Dylan Sprouse's face, and so when I got to set and I had to throw up, his face was on my mark that I had to puke on.
I wonder how he'd feel.
I texted him. He thought it was very funny. To be fair,
Imagine him though. He had to get thrown up on multiple times.
multiple times, multiple takes, multiple times.
What was it like working with Lucy Hale?
She's awesome. She's so lovely. We've had many mutual friends for many years and had never actually met before. And she's just a pro. Like, she's been doing it forever, and she's as kind as you'd want her to be, and she's just great.
Do you learn anything from working with these co-stars, Dylan, Lucy? I mean, you do pick up things from the people you're around.
Yeah, I think you do. And I think like with those two in particular, they both found fame and success so young that it's always really interesting to see how different people handle that. And they've both handled it so well. And it's just turned them into like total professionals and pros. And it's cool to see that side of it and just see like how professional it can make people when they've been doing it since they were kids.
Yeah, like it's like subconscious competence, like this
Yeah.
like kind of like really it is. Do you see what you do as a muscle as much as it is a craft?
So. I think it's a lot of muscle. You can see it with people that have been doing it forever. Like, it's just it's in their body. It's just like a muscle memory for them at a certain point, and it's amazing to watch. It's cool.
And like obviously different ways to challenge that. Stunts being one of them.
Yeah.
You've done crazy stunts.
I love stunt stuff. It's so fun.
I mean, it is fun, but like, I mean, is there any part of you that goes, this really? I mean, it does. Everything has the potential to go wrong.
Yes.
In so many ways, like right, like you can
Yes.
walk out of here. It's like you
Yeah.
never know. But when you're doing a stunt, you're tempting fate to a certain degree.
I did on my last project a few months ago end up with several stitches in my leg
What
from a
happened?
stunt gone wrong. It was something where we were doing a stunt and I had to dive off a rock and then swim to a second rock and climb up. And it was
Of
rock
course.
material but made of styrofoam. And so the styrofoam broke as I was climbing the rock and I slid all the way down and sliced my leg open. But I have a really cool scar now, and now I feel like I'm like a proper like stunt woman.
Yeah. You got a wound to tell a story
Yeah, I have a
about.
cool scar. It kind of made me like a badass.
That was pretty sick.
Yeah.
But that's, I mean, also terrifying.
Terrifying.
Do you have to go back and finish that shot, or what happens?
It really, to make a long story short, made the movie complicated because it was a movie that took place primarily in the water. And after stitches, you can't get in the water for 2 weeks. And so we had to find a way around that where we'd wrap my leg in like plastic wrap every single day and then put a green sock over it with tracking dots. So they're just going to have to replace my leg and CG afterwards.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was
Instead of
wild.
just waiting for 2 weeks. But I guess every second is
That's
money.
money.
Every second is money. And like, I don't know which would have been cheaper, but I guess it was cheaper to fix my leg in post.
How many projects do you juggle in a year?
It really depends on the year. I like working. Like I when I'm not working, I go into like a video game cave and I just game for like 10 hours a day.
What do you
and
play?
I love The Sims.
Okay, classic.
Also, like Baldur's Gate 3, if anyone here is familiar. It's like D&D themed. No one here knows. Okay,
What is
cool.
D&D?
Dungeons and
I
Dragons.
thought it was Do Not Disturb.
Do not disturb themed. It's so fun. So I just go into like a dark cave in game. So for me, I'm like, please, like, give me a job so I can get out of the house and be healthy and sociable. Otherwise, I get real inside.
I don't know. I find that there's some health to that. Like to be able to like retreat and
Yeah.
like two extremes, you know?
I love it, but it's good for
Recharge.
me to be balancing jobs and getting out of the house. So I do tend to prefer to be working.
Well,
as
it's
much as
also
I
a
can be.
blessing to be working, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah, it
Holy
is.
shit.
Yeah,
To have this many projects,
yeah,
that's crazy.
yeah.
It's really incredible. What do you attribute to that fully? I mean, yes, like it is your talent, it is your skill, but like there is also something different that has to break through in a room or through a self-tape or whatever your means of auditioning is these days. Maybe you don't audition. I don't know.
It depends on the project. Like sometimes you do have to audition still, and sometimes that's kind of nice too because it's nice to feel like you've really earned something. And when it's an offer, as lovely as that is, they've never seen you do the material. So I think there's a little part that can be extra anxious when you're walking into an offer situation where you're like, I hope they like my take on the character. They haven't seen me do it. I hope they like it. But I think for me, like it's the relationships you build over doing it for so many years too. I've been doing this for so long and I've built so many relationships that I end up working with a lot of the same people time and time again, which is great.
That's it, right?
I love that. Yeah.
But it's like also a testament to like you never know who's on set no matter what gig you have.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You got to come in and do your all.
Yeah. You never know.
Fascinating.
Were you one of those like young kids that knew you wanted to be an actress and you were just like acting since the day you were born?
Yeah, I always knew I wanted to do it. So I have a brother with autism, and when I was younger, there was a movie called I Am Sam that came out that really explored that. Do you know the movie?
It is by far, it may be my favorite movie of all
It's a
time.
great movie, right?
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Dakota Fanning,
Yeah.
Sean Penn.
Beautiful performances, great film. And I was younger than Dakota, but really looked up to her. And so I saw someone that like kind of resembled me going through an experience that I really understood on screen. And there was something that I felt in that moment that was like, oh, I'm relating to this thing I'm seeing on screen. I'm understanding myself and my situation because of something I'm watching. How can I be a part of that? So I remember that really kind of turning on something in me that made me want to be an actor and a performer and explore these parts of myself. And I became insufferable after that and would make my parents watch as I performed in the living room for them. And then it was just like no turning back. I wanted to do it.
What a beautiful origin story.
Yeah.
That is so deeply genuine. And this idea, like a lot of musicians start the same way. It's like this mutual understanding through this craft, this art.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
feeling understood in a way that you haven't been previous.
Yeah, and that's the amazing thing that art can do for people, right? Is make you feel understood and understand something. And that's what that movie did for me at such an early age. And in what I hope that I can be a part of films that do that for others, you know?
Can we talk about the chemistry that you all have on, in this movie? You all feel like real friends?
Yeah.
The entire cast? What goes into that process?
I think sometimes you just get lucky, and we all really liked each other, and we were in Kelowna, Canada, which was beautiful, and we're there during the summer, and sometimes you get lucky and it feels more like a summer camp kind of situation than it does work, and we all just got along really well. Sometimes it's as easy as that, is you just become friends and it translates.
Do we share dating horror stories to break the ice?
Oh, yeah. Lucy and I shared stories for sure.
Yeah, because you live these dates. The whole movie is about swiping.
Yeah.
And the risk of swiping.
Yeah.
And you have swiped.
I have swiped.
But it's also paid off for you.
It worked for me, but I was on the apps for many, many, many years before I got lucky with my husband.
How many years?
Oh my God. I was on and off the apps for 5-6 years probably by the time I met him. And he's in a rock and roll band. You guys know him.
We know him.
He's been on the show.
Yeah.
And I've run into him recently because he texted me last night saying that you were going to come on.
That's so funny.
And I just can't remember where I ran into him. And he's in the Struts. You got to listen to the Struts. They're so good. We'll
They're
also put a
amazing.
link
Yeah.
below.
They're
You can
great.
listen on Amazon Music.
Yeah, they're great. And I remember seeing his profile photos, and they were all black and white with his bass guitar with tight pants on a stage. And I was like, this guy's hot, but he's going to suck. But he's hot. So I went on the date with him expecting nothing. And he was great. Surprised me.
Did you meet him on Raya?
Raya. Yeah.
Classy.
Classy Raya.
Yeah. It could be a good app, Raya.
Yeah.
I mean, it worked.
It worked for us.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
we're the Raya poster children. Raya was one of the few ones I trusted because I remember, at least at the time, with Hinge and Bumble, I think was the other big one. You couldn't really verify that the person was who they said they were, and at least on Raya, because it was linked to your Instagram,
Totally.
you knew that you were talking to who they said they were.
And they vet you before you, or at least they were vetting you before you went on.
Yeah, it made me feel safer.
Oh, it was the hardest club to get into. I tried for a year.
I remember that.
It was
You tried so hard.
Dude, I literally had to end up getting to the guy who created the fucking app.
No shit, you
Just
couldn't
to
get on?
in. No, what sucks is I have this whole, I get this whole thing going. I wage a whole campaign to get on the app. And then about 6 months later, they open the floodgates, and anybody who's ever called themselves a model is now on the fucking app. It's done.
Yeah, now I feel like there's no standard at all.
No, it's
But
totally
they're-
different.
Yeah.
Before you could literally see the biggest Oprah,
Yeah,
freaking
anyone.
huge celebrities, and
Yeah.
now it is any human being that has taken a photo with a filter and puts #model on any one of their posts.
Oh,
It's a
that's
different
such
world.
a bummer.
What was your song on your profile though? That is one cool thing on Raya that they do.
I loved that, and that's a great question. Oh, I love Matchbox 20, so it was for sure. Do you love Matchbox
I was
20?
just listening to them yesterday.
Shut up.
Yeah.
you
I
have
love
great
Rob
taste.
Thomas.
Oh, diamonds? Come on.
Diamond Smooth.
I want to break a yes. I want to flip a table.
Oh, the best. Yeah. So I couldn't remember what Matchbox 20 song, but yeah, Matchbox 20 is hands down. I might be their youngest fan. Maybe we are their
We could
youngest
be, yeah.
fans.
But there is something about that music. It's very storyteller-esque.
Yes.
And you really can feel it and see it,
Yeah, and the lyrics I feel are really telling a story, and I don't always feel that you get that so much in music now, and I really love that storytelling aspect.
So Matchbox 20.
Yeah, Matchbox 20, that's my vibe.
What was the song on your profile though? What was the exact
I
song?
wish I could remember which one. I just know it was. I know that I would have led hard
That's
with
okay.
Matchbox 20.
Taste. But honestly, to get your husband, to marry him, to find him, you have to really go on shitty dates.
Many. I also did not know their band at all. So I was telling people I went out with someone in the Strokes for a long time.
Okay, totally different.
Totally
Wait,
different.
hold on. You're poor now.
I know.
What?
I know. He was so embarrassed. And he was like, I'm not in the Strokes. I'm in the Struts. It's I've been telling everyone I'm dating someone in the Strokes. It was really off base.
That's actually so funny.
Yeah. At least he knew I wasn't a groupie. I had no idea who I was dating.
Your intentions were genuine.
They were genuine. Yeah.
Okay, so you find him, but shitty dates lead up to him.
Many. Yeah.
Any ones that stick out?
Oh man, that's so funny. Oof, I don't know any that are like. A lot of them just feel kind of like dark. Like the person was on like a kind of a bender kind of a vibe, you know?
Well, because you would run into people like that who are just going on a bunch of dates with a bunch of people.
Yes.
And ooh.
And I feel like for some people, it really was. I don't know if that was like peak dating app era when I was really in it, or if it's still like this now. But I feel like you got a lot of people that you can tell were just churning them out like crazy, and it's just like a swipe, and then you're out with a hot chick or dude the next night, and like it just never ends, like that revolving door. And I feel like a lot of the guys I remember just feeling like, oh, this is like a revolving door of like a bit like of an addiction. For it just kind of had that feeling sometimes.
I know people who would just go on 1,000 dates with the intention of finding like a husband or wife.
Yeah.
And like if they didn't feel something within the first 32 seconds, you'd get like this. They'd be a dick. You know what I mean? Like, it would kind of be thrown to the wayside.
Yeah, because I feel like it's always just a swipe away, right?
Yes.
So it just kind of makes people feel disposable sometimes.
Quite literally on to the next.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What a weird culture.
It's so bizarre.
Because back in the day, like, you couldn't take it, like, dating wasn't this flippant. If you connected with somebody out in public or your friend introduced you to someone, that was a moment. That was a thing. Like, you didn't take that for granted.
No, it felt special. And,
Yes.
and because you often had to have a mutual friend or see them at the same bar or wherever, there was some accountability on having to kind of be respectful to that person a bit because you have friends in common or whatever. But with the dating app stuff, when it's just a total stranger, like, there's no accountability to be like polite after a certain point. You can kind of just ghost or dip or whatever and not have to give anybody an explanation.
How'd you know your husband was the one?
He has a great accent, for one. I'm a sucker for an accent. And also, I was expecting him to be such a dick with like the tight pants and the whole thing. And he was so lovely and genuine and like from a tiny town in England that I just fell in love with his little sweetheart.
I want to talk love. I want to get into. I want to talk Marvel real quick because you are a part of that universe.
I am.
Is the Runaways a part of the larger Marvel universe? Yay or nay?
That'd be cool if it was eventually one day.
Okay, so you're saying that in a way that could be a multiverse situation. What are you talking about?
Oh, I know nothing. Like I'm talking out of my ass about this. First of all, I just know I was a part of Marvel for a few years and would love to come back and do that again at some point in my career. But I have no proof that I'm a part of any universe at all. I have no idea.
Thank you for the honesty. I really appreciate it.
I'm super honest.
I really appreciate it.
It was fun. I got to be their first openly gay superhero, and that was awesome to be able to do and be a part of that. And I got to fly and do a bunch of crazy superhero shit and be a Marvel superhero. Like that's such a bucket list, I feel like, for any actor.
That is, I mean, that's the pinnacle.
Yeah, yeah.
And then also to like have a trailblazing role like that.
Yeah.
Holy, very cool.
Really cool. And like it really was meaningful to people. And that was a big takeaway for me too, is the amount of people throughout the years that would come up and be like, I came out because of your character, or, I felt safe to.
Oh, that's cool.
Because I also think what was cool about it is we were also playing teenagers. And so it was kind of cool to be able, I think, for younger people to have that sort of like a role model, if you will, as like an openly gay teenager too. It was kind of cool for people to see. And it felt really nice to be a part of something that felt like it was impacting people. And at first, she and the other girl on the show never got together in the comic books, at least at the time. And so we didn't know if they were going to lean into that or not on the show at first. And so me and Lyrica, who played Nico, really came to the showrunners and wanted to fight to make sure that we got to explore their relationship on the show. So we were, at least I'd like to think, a part of really being able to lean into that and being like, we want to do this for people. We want to lean into this. We want to make this a part of our story.
And then for them to listen to you is pretty cool too.
Well, they may have done it anyway. I don't want to give myself too much credit here, but
it.
we wanted to lean into it.
By the way, you can watch the movie, link below, FMK. Also, you should watch Fall. It's a great movie. And I know you're a big fan.
Yeah, I thought the movie was great. I just want to know, like, which twist surprised you more, the FMK twist or the Fall twist?
Ooh. I knew the twist for FMK before I read the script. That's how it had been pitched to me, was with the twist.
Got it.
So I didn't have the same experience reading the script and being surprised. So when I read the Fall script, I felt really surprised. And even friends of mine that knew the twist had forgotten about it by the time they saw it in the theater, and they were shocked with the fall twist. So, and that movie's very near and dear to my heart. So I liked that fall twist a lot.
Yeah, you're talking about stunts and physical movies. I'm like, that must have been crazy. Like, you just sweat just watching that movie.
We were 100 feet off the ground. It was not green screen. It was crazy.
Can you explain to me how it worked? Because it was like 100 feet, but then off of a cliff, right, or something?
Yeah, so we were on a cliffside. That was a 2,000-foot cliff. So all the aerial shots were the correct height, basically, when you had the 2,000-foot cliff and then the 100-foot tower on top of that. So when we're being dangled by one hand and we're the ladder break scene and all those stunts, when I jump for the bag, that's all 100 feet off the ground. And we're harnessed up there. We have safety, but you're up there. And there were days, because we're on this cliffside, the wind would get really crazy. And this tower was just built. It's not like it's a real tower. So the tower would start to do this. And Grace and I, who plays Becky, would just hold each other's hands and just kind of sway and hope for the best. And they had the camera on cranes, and they would take the camera down because it was so expensive, and they couldn't risk the camera getting messed up in the wind, but they would leave us up there, and we're just like holding on for dear life.
What do you realize in that moment? That actors are replaceable?
Yeah, honestly, yeah. Like, I guess we're cheaper than the cameras. Yeah.
It is true that, like, when you go to a casting, you see a bunch of people who look like you.
Exactly. You're like, yeah, I guess I'll just get another blonde chick if I die. They're not worried.
No, they have like 8 people on standby.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That was crazy, and it would take us so long to get down from that tower that they developed like a pulley system where they would just pulley us up water, and we'd pull up makeup and we'd do our touch-ups on the top of the tower and then bring it back down, and we'd just be up there for hours and hours at a time.
I mean, genuinely though, what do you learn in that? Because that's a lot of sacrifice, and it's demanding for you sacrifice a lot for the craft in that moment.
Yeah. I think the biggest takeaway from me is whenever I'm on a set and I see someone complaining about like literally anything, I'm just kind of like, this is nothing. This is really nothing. You guys, we're lucky to have like a chair to sit in and be on the ground. Like, this is nothing. So it's definitely changed my perspective, and not to toot my own horn, but I'd like to think has made me pretty easygoing on most sets, because nothing will really compare to that experience. And just the physical challenge of it all. Like, I think I had never done something so stunt heavy, and I love it, but you have to think of yourself as more of an athlete than an actor sometimes, and take care of your body like an athlete does, and like make sure you're taking sleep seriously and nutrition seriously, and you're just putting your body through something totally different than a normal film.
No fear of heights before you do that?
Not before I did the movie. Afterwards, a little bit.
No.
We get dropped off that tower so many times during that movie that definitely, like, I know what it feels like to fall from something really high now. So I do have a little bit of that like weird thing now with heights where I'm like, oh, I know what it feels like to fall. I know that feeling, and now I'm a little funny with heights.
What's it like to see, as an actress, to see your dead body? Because you've now done that multiple times.
I've died so many times. I know. People love to kill me in movies.
It's amazing that you're here with us today.
It's amazing I'm here right now. After I died in Fall, sorry, spoiler alert. Sorry. After I died in that movie, though, and they're going on to make Fall 2 and 3, I've been like, you're not allowed to kill me off anymore. I am no longer dying in movies. I want to be able to be a part of a sequel if there is one. But it's okay. I don't mind seeing my own dead body, as crazy as that is to say. My parents, it traumatizes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Whenever I tell my parents I'm doing a movie, the first question they have is, do you die? Because they're so traumatized from having to see me die in like so many ways.
You end up doing a lot of horror movies.
I do. I love horror movies. I love genre stuff. It's like my favorite thing to watch. So I love it. And I love to lean into like being bloody and fucked up. Can I curse?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I've cursed so much.
Okay, I think I've already cursed, but I'm just asking
free.
now. Okay.
Spread your wings.
But I love leaning into that kind of stuff. Like the craziest death scene I've had is in a movie that not too many people saw called Monster Party, where like a clown ate my face off. Like I'm so game with that kind of stuff and think it's really fun. It's just my poor parents that I've traumatized.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah.
A clown ate your face.
Yeah, a clown ate my face.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think that's the wildest way I've died.
But you're working also on a remake of The Breed?
Yes, Wrapped. Yes, we did that last year. It's
You have so many
You're
projects.
so busy, aren't you?
thanks.
No,
God.
and then like you're also fucking saying fuck to Valentine's Day.
I'm also saying fuck to Valentine's Day. Yes.
You're so busy.
I leave on Saturday to go say fuck to Valentine's Day. I've been able to like travel all over the world. Like we did The Breed in Guatemala last year, which was so fun. And I was seeing some clips from that movie today and it's looking really fun. But yeah, that was like a kind of a spiritual sequel, if you will, to a movie called The Breed that came out like 20 years ago. And we're doing a really fun take on it. It's like a horror. It's like almost like a Tropic Thunder-esque sort of tone that we've taken it. And it's really fun.
Has there been a role you really wanted that you auditioned for that just you didn't end up getting?
Yes.
Is there anything that stands out?
I like literally this week that happened to me.
Really?
So, yeah, it happens. It happens, man. Even now you fight for it and sometimes it doesn't pan out, but you just have to kind of trust that like it's the universe.
It is.
Making way for the right thing that's going to happen at the right time.
Things-
And sometimes like, when I've not gotten things and then I watch the project back, I watch it and I'm like, that would have been a different movie with me in it. And like, it's, and I see that when I've known people up for things I've been a part of and they haven't gotten it and someone else has. And, knowing a friend that was up for it, I'm like, yeah, you're both equally as talented. It's just a different movie if it's you versus this person. And sometimes you just the tone and like as corny as it sounds, like the person's essence is just kind of different.
Yeah, I was wondering like what parts could be different because it's your job as an actor to bring to life whatever's on the page, but the truth is you can't fully lose yourself. So like parts of your energy and essence still come through no matter what.
Exactly. And I have a director friend of mine that was talking about how sometimes when you're casting your movie and you have to hedge your bet on somebody and you have equally amazing actors that are up for something, you kind of want to lean into who might be the closest to that character naturally when you're a little unsure. And that's just one director's opinion that she told me recently. But I understand that. I understand that when, you're throwing your weight behind somebody and crossing your fingers and hoping you're making the right choice, you might want to lean towards who naturally kind of fits in the world that you're making.
How often will you audition?
I audition, for like elevated television shows and cool movies and stuff that feel like it would be,
But is it weekly? Is it monthly?
It kind of depends. Sometimes I feel like I have months where it's really quiet, and then sometimes I'll have weeks where there's like 4 in 1 week. Like I really feel like it ebbs and flows.
How do you juggle many characters like that? In order to give like an audition, you're 100% of yourself. Like, I mean, your brain can only be broken up into so many different pieces.
Yeah. I always get funny about doing self-tapes when I'm on a job because you're doing 14-hour days and then you're going to come back to your hotel room and like beg a co-star to do a self-tape with you and be like, I know this is the last thing you want to be doing. Like, please, can I have an hour of your time?
But like something's going to suffer in that moment.
It is. And self-taping is so hard at the best of times that I'm like, I don't think my best tape is going to come after a 14-hour workday when I barely know the lines, if at all. Like, it's just not going to, I don't think that's going to be the tape I book.
Not humanly possible.
Not humanly possible.
Oh, weddings. You have a husband.
I have a husband.
Dylan also gets married around the same time that you get married.
Yeah.
Are we sharing wedding tips? Do we share, is there a conversation about like wedding planning?
I guess we spoke about it a little bit, but I feel like we had, if I remember correctly, I think we had like filmed our movie. I think we like filmed movie 1, hadn't seen each other. He got engaged. I think I had my wedding at that time or was planning it. So I feel like we kept kind of missing each other while the big moments were happening and would see each other afterwards.
Like, do married people talk about being married, or like do people about to be wed talk about, like, I don't know. Like, I was talking to somebody who's like my age and they have 3 kids. And I'm like, what is, like, I can't relate to you.
I mean, that's how I feel with children as well. I'm like, I'm a baby. I'm not ready to have a baby. I have a dog. Like that's all I need. I'm very happy with my dog.
Dogs are enough.
My dog is enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And like my dog, I can give to my mom while I go away to go film a movie. I can't just be like, here, mom, take my child while I go film
your
something.
child
Yeah. Yeah. I don't have that thing yet. I feel like a lot of women hit an age and something turns on, or people in general hit an age and they just like find
Biology.
kids so cute, and I just don't have that thing yet. So I'm waiting for it. I don't know if it'll turn on in me or not, but yeah, happily married. I talk about it with married friends. It's nice to have some stability and like a career in a world that's so unstable. It's nice to feel like you have that like touchstone of stability in your life.
It is really special.
It's really nice.
It's a partnership.
Yeah.
Unity.
Yeah.
I mean, do you guys spend a lot of time apart? Because I know he's doing music and you're acting. You guys are all over the place.
Yeah, we spend a lot of time apart. We try not to do more than 2 months, but sometimes we do 3 months.
It's a long time.
And that sucks. The 3 months is really hard. But he, it's kind of fun because whenever I'm working somewhere, he usually gets to come out and we get to go do these kind of like what feel like vacations all over the world together, which is really special. And I would go on tour with the boys, but tour life is...
You don't want that.
I can't. I don't think I can do it anymore. I feel like I did my time on the tour bus. Like you're sharing a bunk that's smaller than this sofa with both of you guys. And
Have I met you before?
I don't know. Have we met?
Have I not? Like, have you toured with them?
Yeah.
I may have met you, like in Memphis or like some
Oh,
weird place.
Did you go to a random show somewhere?
I've seen them perform randomly in so many different places.
No shit.
Yeah, and yeah, I remember. I have very vivid memories of meeting at one point all the guys were in relationships pretty much, and they were like
Yeah.
touring with their significant others.
Everyone had girls out for a second.
Yeah. I remember meeting everybody.
Wait,
I
that's
definitely
so
did meet
funny.
you,
I
like-
bet we met because I was, when the relationship was newer, I was more down to go on tour with them, and now we're so married, and I'm just like, go have fun.
Yeah, no,
Live your life.
you don't.
But I'm sure we've met because I would do those random ass runs.
I feel like I
where
met
we
you in
would
like a
hit.
barbecue spot in Memphis.
That's so tracks.
Probably called like it is called Rendezvous. I highly recommend it.
I was probably really drunk and
Yeah.
on tour with the boys
Yeah,
and in
yeah.
full party mode somewhere.
Living a rock star lifestyle.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah, wow. But also, like, distance. Is there any truth to distance making the heart grow fonder, or realigning like what love means?
I think so. I think like 3 months to me is when it starts to get just too much time apart. I think that it just sucks, frankly.
You can't do a full quarter.
And I can't do a full quarter.
No.
It's too much.
Too much.
But there's something to that. I think there's something to. I'm a really independent person. I really like doing my own stuff. So does he. So I think it's also healthy for our dynamic and for us to still be able to go have our independence and explore and have our separate lives and come together for our joint one as well. But I think for us, there's something cool and healthy in that.
How many people have made you play Fuck, Marry, Kill on this promo tour?
So I played we played a really unhinged game of Fuck, Marry, Kill that I can't believe that they aired, where they were asking us like Fuck, Marry, Kill like Disney characters.
What?
Which was so unhinged. And I'm unfiltered at the best of times, and like that's a very up my alley game to play that I should never play on camera. That was a mistake to let me play that game on camera.
Our producer Kim really wants to play Fuck, Marry, Kill with you.
Okay, let's play it.
No socks, no show. What is this?
It says no socks, no show socks, and sports socks. I don't know what sports socks are.
Oh, so we're fucking socks.
Yeah,
We're fucking marrying and killing socks.
Oh, yeah, okay, so it's
feel
like no Oh, it's the type of person who would wear these socks.
Oh,
I thought it was socks too.
the type of person that would wear these socks. Great. No one's fucking socks.
No, I think we should do the socks.
Yeah. Kim's in our ear, like trying to like keep
this on
the
track.
game as she imagined. Trying to keep the creative integrity intact.
Yes. Okay, let's respect the creative integrity.
We're here
of
like,
this game.
no, we're gonna fuck some socks, and let's be logistic. I mean, let's be real about it. So if you're fucking no socks, then you're fucking a foot.
Right.
Some people are into that.
Yep.
No show socks. Or no show socks are very not a lot of room. Sports socks, I guess those are the ankle highs.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'm gonna.
This isn't for you.
Okay, you're right. I really wanted to play because I gave it a lot of thought.
I care about how you feel, though.
I'll
I
let
do.
her
I
answer
care.
first, and then you can go second.
Okay, so just to like circle back and really clarify, we're not fucking socks. This is the person wearing the socks, right?
Yes, that's what we've been.
That's
we've been
the
told.
integrity. So, I was recently told by someone much younger than me that I look older when I wear like ankle socks, I guess, because now you want the high socks. Now young people wear the high socks, right? Okay.
Got to keep the calves warm.
You got to keep the calves warm. So I would fuck the high socks, the person in the high socks. I would murder the no-show socks because they fall off your feet. At least they always fall off mine, and I end up with blisters, and it's a disaster.
Makes sense.
And I would marry just your trusty athletic sock.
No, they're sturdy and they can go the distance.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
That matters.
there you go.
F, marry, kill. The guy who posts shirtless photos, fish photos, or group photos.
Oh, I gotta kill the guy that posts the fish photo. I think that says a lot about somebody and like not a way that I'm into.
But what if he's just trying to feed his family?
I don't give a fuck about your family. No, I just don't think that's my vibe. I don't know.
He's
Like,
just hunting and gathering.
yeah, I
for the
don't.
tribe.
Yeah,
Fuck your tribe.
fuck your tribe. I'm your tribe. Fuck the rest of the tribe. I don't need this.
So true.
I imagine the smell of that person and like the fishy guts and like I don't think that's my vibe. So I kill that person. Who else am I?
There are shirtless photos, fish photos, and group photos.
Ooh, the shirtless photos is tough for me too. I guess I fuck the shirtless
Yeah,
photos, right? Like that's giving fuck.
Kind of makes
like,
sense.
Are they good shirtless photos? Do we like what we see?
I would assume so. If they're posting it, I would assume so.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're not posting that if you're not like proud of what you're showing. Okay, so I fuck that person, and then I
We
marry
the group photo.
Yeah, he's got friends.
Yeah.
We love someone that's got friends.
Okay, fuck, marry, kill. A fedora wearing person, a baseball cap wearing person, or a beanie wearing person?
Ooh, I gotta kill Beanie. No one here is wearing a beanie. Okay, I gotta kill Beanie. I feel like what show was it? There was a show many years ago that had like an actor 5000. It was like a guy that was like, oh, that's actor 5000, and he'd always have a fucking beanie on. So whenever I see a dude in a beanie, I'm like, oh, it's Mr. Actor 5000 over there. So I'd kill that guy. Marry bass. Oh, fedoras are rough too.
You're gonna marry a fedora?
That's rough. I don't think I can marry a fedora, but do I fuck a fedora? I don't think that's a fun vibe. I guess I have to just close my eyes and hope for the best and fuck the fedora guy and then marry the baseball hat guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Classic.
I'm going to stand by that.
You want to do one more?
Yeah, let's do the guy that takes photos of food before eating, the guy that doesn't eat dessert, or the vegan.
Oh.
These are some good
These are really
These are
FMKs.
good.
These are creative.
Well done, producer Kim.
Yeah, well done. This is really making me have to think about this. And this feels healthier than the game where I had to like fuck, marry, kill Disney characters, like beloved Disney
So
characters.
you're telling me you wouldn't marry Stitch?
Oh, Stitch? That voice? I don't think I can do it. Forever?
You're right. You gotta wake up to that, go
You
to
gotta-
sleep to that.
Forever? Like you could fuck that.
Yeah,
but
you're
to
right.
be married to that for looking down the barrel of the rest of your fucking life.
No
With
way.
That, I don't think I could do it.
I tap out.
I tap out. I don't think I could do that. Okay, we were talking about...
Take photos of food before eating.
Yes.
Doesn't eat dessert or a vegan. Fuck, marry, kill.
I gotta kill the vegan. Oh, was that really bad? I feel like people might hate me for that.
It's okay.
Is someone here a
honest.
vegan?
I've been vegetarian for almost 15 years.
Well,
so.
that's not vegan.
But you're not vegan.
Okay, so I'm still alive.
Yeah, so why don't you live your truth?
Okay.
You live your truth. I guess
You
Stop
live yours.
lying.
I totally respect veganism. I don't think I could fuck or marry that person. So I have to kill them. It's not that I want to kill you.
You're
I
being
just
forced to.
I'm forced to. I'm forced to kill you. And then I'd fuck the guy that doesn't eat dessert because I could never marry that person. I would hate that person, but they would probably be really hot. So I would fuck the no dessert and marry the food pictures guy. That's fair. I can live with
game was
that.
They're an
Great.
artist.
Yeah, they're an artist.
Yeah, they're just trying to express themselves.
Yeah, like that's fair.
Yeah, share their lens.
Yeah,
on
you're
life.
allowed to like remember a good meal. I can accept that.
Please watch Fuck, Marry, Kill. Link to all the details, everything below. Please come back on our show. We're always around.
Absolutely, I would love to.
You're incredible. Virginia Gardner, everybody.
Thanks.
Thank you.